Hi, you're listening to YYC Sociables, Calgary Social Experiences podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Sociables, here to tell you about all the good stuff happening in the city. In between these weekly podcasts, get your fix by following me on Instagram at sarah.sociables. All right, so in this week's episode, I'm talking about all the fun stuff happening in Calgary from Monday, November 30th, which is today, to the end of the week, Sunday, December 6th. We've got a Christmas market, we've got wreath making, we've got a beer pair dinner, and we've got a few online events as well. It's a short list, but it's a good list. Now, before we begin, I want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this episode, which is Sober Carpenter. Now, Sober Carpenter is a non-alcoholic beer, and you're probably like, what? Why is Sarah talking to me about non-alcoholic beer? I'm as surprised as you are, my friend. But actually, I've kind of gotten into it a little bit. I didn't realize this was a thing until recently. I think it's only been in the last, year or so that the non-alcoholic craft beer has really come out and become a thing. I think the non-alcoholic beers were just ignored for so long, and it was literally just like O'Doul's or nothing. And now all of a sudden, with the rise of craft beer in general, now non-alcoholic craft beer is picking up. So I did this post a couple weeks ago for Sober Carpenter, and it kind of invoked a discussion with me and my followers about their thoughts on non-alcoholic beer, and a lot of people were really into it, which surprised me, and they wanted to know more, and they wanted to know what was good and what I'd recommend and what other people would recommend. I did hear from people some recommendations about things that I should be trying. So this led me to think, hey, I should really make a video about myself testing these various non-alcoholic beers and give people the real information they want to know about what non-alcoholic beer is the best, because there is a lot of I don't want to say myths, but I think people have negative opinions about non-alcoholic beer that may or may not be true. Some people are saying oh, it's really sweet, and some people are saying, oh, it's just disgusting, you can't drink it. But I don't think that's the case anymore. I think it's really changed and picked up now, and that there's actually some good non-alcoholic beers out there. I mean, maybe I should wait till I do my taste testing, because to be honest, I haven't tried them yet. I've spent the last week and a half purchasing them all, and I have a whole mini fridge downstairs filled with non-alcoholic beer, so I don't even know how I'm going to drink all of it. I have so much, but I wanted to make sure I had a good variety to try. So that's kind of a bit of a tangent for you there. That is how I'm going to bring that video to you sometime in the near future. I'm hoping I can do it sometime this week and post it, and then by next week on the podcast, I can be announcing the best non-alcoholic beer that I think you should be drinking. All right, so now on to the main segment. If you're new here, this is where I go over the list of events I post on Instagram every Sunday evening. This is a curated list of local events handpicked by me because I think they are the most fun things to do in Calgary for the week. And I've taken that on as my personal mission to make sure that you have something fun to look forward to. And before I get into my list, I have to mention this is not a regular week. Oh my gosh, no. I thought last week was slow. This week was dead. So very dead. Nothing is happening. It was even tough for me to put this together. There's only 5 events on the list this week, and 2 of them are actually virtual events. So I just wanted to kind of point that out, that I get everyone is being really cautious and following the rules, and that is good, and I'm 100% on board with that, but I still wanted to do my role that I see as my part in the community, which is posting fun events for people. Back when we were in quarantine in the spring, I did stop posting my Sunday events, and looking back, I kind of regret that. I think I should have found some online events, or even just been saying encouraging people to get out for a walk, or just do something different to bring a little bit of variety to their lives, a little bit of something that they could look forward to. So that's why I've made the decision to continue doing these Sunday event posts, even though I think maybe it could be construed as a little bit controversial because I'm encouraging people to get out, but I am trusting the organizers holding these events that they're doing it in a safe manner, that they're approved by Alberta Health Services, that these are all on the up and up. And I'm trusting that the people attending the events are going to be doing it in a safe manner as well. Like, you're not going out if you're sick. Oh my gosh, do not do that. And you're wearing a mask, you're distancing, you're following the rules with keeping in your bubble in your household. So I just wanted to put this little bit of caveat on it, because even though we are in these weird times where we're discouraging people from going out, we want them to be staying home. At the same time, I think my role in making sure people have something fun to look forward to every week is really important too. And I don't really want to stop that this time. That's something that I learned looking back at quarantine. So now you know where I'm coming from. I'm sorry if that got a little bit negative, but it is serious, and I wanted you to know that while I do post about the fun stuff, I take my role very seriously. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say about that. And let's get into the good stuff about what's happening this week. So the first event that I posted is an Italian happy hour and wreath building at Lena's Italian Market. So this is happening Thursday evening, and this is more like a workshop activity. So it goes from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. and you are building a Christmas wreath. So the tickets are a little bit more expensive. They're $145 on Eventbrite. With that price, you get the wreath, you get a glass of wine, and you get a happy hour dish included too. So I like this event because it is different. It's an activity, and you also get to eat and drink. So it sounds fun, and I love that Lena's Italian Market is putting on something like this. The next event I posted was also on Thursday. Now this one was supposed to be in person at Trolley 5. It's called a Not So Silent Night. They did this, I don't want to say every year. I know they did it last year, maybe the year before it. It's a charity fundraiser that it goes where the profits, or I guess proceeds, I should say, go to Not in My City, which is a nonprofit against human trafficking. So I know they've done this for a couple years in a row, and they wanted to do it again this year. It is a hit event, but they've decided to move it online just to be extra safe and cautious. So good for them for taking that precaution. So if you want to participate in this, you can go buy the tickets online, and it includes cheese and charcuterie, a 6-pack of Trolley 5 beer, and a bottle of wine delivered straight to your house. So that's awesome. So you can still feel like you're part of the fun. They do have local artists playing music, and so you can tune in and watch that and feel like you're part of the party, even though at your home. And this way, you know you're safe while supporting a good cause. So that's awesome. Good for Trolley 5 for not canceling that and deciding to move online. I really hope your event is a success. The next event I posted was the Sip and Stretch Yoga at Legend 7 on Saturday. So this is another one that was supposed to be in person. It's one of those yoga events where you do the yoga and then afterwards you have a beer at a brewery, which is awesome. But they decided to move it online. You can join virtually, and they ask that you provide a donation, or if you want to purchase their featured beer package for $30, they will deliver a growler to you. So I love that they're still continuing on this event, even though it can't be done in person. I don't know if the yoga instructor will be at Legend 7 still, or if it's out of their house, but Legend 7 is still the brewery of the week or whatever for this Sip and Stretch Yoga. This is another AILD event, so I've told you guys about them multiple times before because they're pretty awesome. The next event I want to talk about is the Christmas market at Granary Road. So I was looking into this event and I didn't see a start or end time on their website, but it just says that it's Saturday and Sunday. It's a market. I don't think there's any cover charge. I think you just walk in and it's free. It's every weekend until December 20th. So if you don't catch it this week, you can definitely catch it again. Do some of your Christmas shopping there. If you've never been to Granary Road, you should really check it out. They have lots of cool stuff, lots of really good quality vendors there. You can get really good food. So something to check out. Who doesn't like a Christmas market? Very festive. And the final event I posted is 1 by 10 Degrees. So that's that chocolate place that's downtown that holds events sometimes. So they are doing a chef's table with Banded Peak Brewery. So this is a 4-course meal with chocolate incorporated into each course, which sounds amazing. And it's also paired with a Banded Peak beer for every single course. So if you're interested in learning what the courses are, I wrote them down for you. There is an ahi tuna as the first course. There's a beeton berry salad for the second course, and Alberta trip tip, which I think is steak, and then a tiramisu for dessert, which sounds delicious. So if you're interested in doing something a little bit different on a Saturday night, that's something I'd recommend that is going on in person safely. Now, normally I would talk about my events in this next segment, but I'm going to skip that because, as you know, my gingerbread house making event has been moved. It's kind of sort of on pause right now, so I really just don't have anything to say about that, and we can skip on to the next section, which is restaurant news. So there was a little bit of news this week. One thing I found out that was really interesting is I've been talking about that new restaurant that is supposed to go up in December. I don't know if they're on target for December still or not, but Chakalaka. I know the location for it now. It's going to be actually on 17th where 1410 was. So you'll know that 1410 closed pretty recently, like in the last couple of months. I think it was end of October. I was really bummed about that because I visited it so many times. It's got a great location and they got the great patio. So the good news is with Chakalaka moving in there that they have a prime location and can do stuff on the patio, and I really hope that they are a success. This Chakalaka restaurant is still a little bit of a mystery. I think it's a bit of Brazilian themed. You'll want a little bit more teaser information, check out my Instagram. You can see some of the posts that I have done for them before, and I'm going to be doing more as they release more info. I'm excited to see if they're going to be opening in December as planned. As far as I know, they're still on schedule, so I'm very excited to see what they reveal. Okay, next let's talk about Christmas pop-ups. So everyone knows Christmas pop-ups are all the rage. The main one, or kind of like the original Christmas pop-up in Calgary, is Miracle on First Street. So that's Proof, and they transform their whole bar into this amazing, just like overly Christmas everywhere, Christmas on the walls, Christmas on the floors, Christmas on the chairs. Like it's just like, it's an insane amount of decor that is so fun and so festive. And they serve their drinks that are all a special Christmas themed menu in these cups that are really cool. Like they'll have they have a Santa one, they have a dinosaur one. I mean, this is what they've done in previous years. I don't know what they're doing this year. I'm assuming it's the same kind of thing. So yeah, that's a really awesome one to check out if you want to do a Christmas pop-up. It's the whole reimagined Proof bar. It's Proof like you've never seen it before. So this is something that some other locations have copied. I know Ricardo's did one last year that was really awesome and fun. I should have checked before I did this podcast to see if Ricardo's doing one again. I'm going to assume that they probably are. Lately is doing one. I know this because they invited me to their opening on Wednesday, so I'm going to check that out. They are going to be doing kind of exactly the same concept where it's like Christmas everywhere and the Christmas themed drinks, and they said they have like a bunch of Christmas desserts, which I'm really excited to try. So I think they are also doing some really affordable drink specials too, so I'd recommend checking out Lately if you want to check out a Christmas pop-up. So there's a few of those happening around town, and I'm gonna keep my eyes open for more because I think that there is more of these pop-ups happening that we may not even know about. Okay, so let us move on to the next segment of what I did last week. So last week I said I was going to go to the Noel Light Festival, and that did not happen. It got canceled, just like many things did. I was pretty bummed about that because, as I was telling you last week, I was excited for it. They do a really good job of it. The lights are really beautiful. And also now that it was, well, I shouldn't say, so the opening got canceled, but the whole festival got moved until their new opening date, which is now mid-December. So basically it got pushed back like a whole month. So I feel terrible for them because that is a ton of lost revenue. Like, can you imagine losing all of that money that you had tickets sold for people that they were going to come in and enjoy your massive festival? And not only that, all the vendors that signed up and they were planning on selling whatever they're selling, the food trucks, all the staff that they had working, like, that's all their Christmas paychecks gone. So this kind of just breaks my heart that an event this big that they had planned to carry out safely, and it obviously like what jumped through a lot of hoops to make happen is not happening right now. I'm really hoping that they can open in their revised date and that people can enjoy it, and that the staff and vendors can make a little bit of money on that before Christmas, because that's really sad. Yeah, so that's that one. I will keep you updated if I learn anything more about their opening date. I think they're kind of just like everyone else, where it's like a wait and watch approach right now with the number of COVID cases and just a lot of unknowns. On to a more positive note, I did do something super awesome this week. It was kind of just a spur of the moment thing. So I've been meaning to go to Noble Pizza for a while. They are a pizza place in 88 Brewing. They're kind of like, I want to say they're kind of tiny and unknown, but they're not. Because if you look on Instagram, they have like 7,000 followers or something ridiculous. So it's like the word is out about them. I've heard good things. People have been telling me to go try their pizza. And I'm like, yeah, it's on the list. Because I'm trying to try all of Calgary's best pizzas. There's so many different places to try. It's like, it takes forever to get around to them all. So anyway, I finally went to Noble Pizza, and so I went into the actual brewery to get it, because you can order takeout from them, but it's only, you can only order a week in advance, and they release it, I think, on Sundays, and they have different time slots, and it's just like super hard to get. And I'm always like just behind and not organized and have never managed to sign up for the takeout. But if you go in restaurant, you can wait and get pizza. But they also, the thing with restaurant is it's only until they run out of dough, which is around like 8 p.m. every day. So again, you have to be like on the ball in terms of like, when am I going to eat this pizza? I have to plan ahead. But through some miracle, it was like 6 p.m. on Saturday, and we were looking for a place to eat, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is our chance to try Noble Pizza. So we went there. It was a long wait. They did warn us. They were super nice about it. It was a 90-minute wait to get the pizza, and they gave us a free round because they admitted that that is longer than it should take to get a pizza, which was super nice. I thought that was very reasonable of them to give us a free round on 88 Brewing. But the pizza itself was so freaking good. I came in with high expectations, and my expectations were met. Like, really felt like it met the hype. It's kind of like a New York thin crust style pizza. It was, I want to say it was like a little bit greasy, but it was like the right amount. I mean, it's like a pizza, right? It was so delicious. We got it was like their weekly special, so it was like a smoked prosciutto, and there's kale on it. It was just, oh, it was so good. I want some right now. I even had some, we didn't eat the whole thing. I microwaved some the next day and ate it, and it was still good. So like, how, like, any pizza that can manage to be good like the next day after like just being microwaved, I'm a huge fan. So this might be my new fave. It was kind of similar to Connie and John's, that New York style, and I want to say like similar crust from what I remember when I tried Connie and John's back in the summertime. So I kind of want to like line them up and have, like, because I think Connie and John's is known for their pepperoni, and so is Noble Pizza. So if I had their two pepperoni pizzas together, what would happen? I don't know. This should be like my next test. I should do this. Also, I was thinking about doing like pizza reviews every week because everyone likes hearing about pizza, and I like always have conversations on Instagram with people who be like, "Was this as good as you thought it was going to be? This one was a bit of a letdown. This one was like a little bit too expensive for what you got." So I like to go over all the pizza details with people. In terms of price, just so you know, for our Noble pizza, it was about, I think it was $35. It was big, like very a large pizza, but it was thin crust. Like there was two of us eating, and we had like some leftovers. We didn't finish it all, and we ate, I think we had 3 or 4 pieces to eat the next day. So yeah, it was on the expensive side. I think that was kind of similar pricing to Connie and John's, but it was really good. So like, I'm gonna be honest, like I would pay it again. I hope they don't raise their prices though. I think if it was like $40, that would get a little bit extreme. But right now I feel like it is worth what they're charging. So that's the background on Noble Pizza. You should definitely try it. Let me know if you liked it as much as I did, because I thought it really lived up to the hype. And another good thing that I found out about, I guess, this weekend is Oak and Vine Liquor Store in Inglewood. Someone had recommended I go there to pick up one of my non-alcoholic beers that I was looking for, because I was looking for like a very specific one that isn't everywhere, and it was there, which was awesome. But also I discovered this liquor store, which was just super sweet. I don't know if you guys have been there. It's like right in the center of Inglewood, and it's not huge, but they have like a really big craft beer selection. So if you go into their cooler area, they have just like wall to wall, like local craft beer. And the extra good part about it is that you can buy it by the single cans, which I have never seen before. Usually like you have to buy a 4-pack or 6-pack, right? So you're kind of committed. You're like, is this good or not? Is it, you're reading the can, you're like, is it too hoppy? Am I gonna like it? This is like $20. But this way it's like you don't have to commit. You can buy one single can, and they had like a mix and match. I don't remember how many you had to buy, but it was like buy like a create your own 6-pack or something like that. We ended up buying like more than 6. We got like a whole box of beers, but we're not going to talk about how much money I spent at the liquor store at Friday. That's fine. But the point is that there is lots of really good beers, and if you're into craft beer and you're like me, you don't want to commit to a lot of it, and you just want to do some sampling and experiment, and you want to try some weird stuff, I highly recommend going to that liquor store in Inglewood. It's called Oak and Vine. And they had a lot of non-alcoholic beers too, if that's something you're interested in. Okay, so I think that is actually all that I had for the week. I feel like I just like rolled through that super fast. But yeah, thank you for listening to this episode of YYC Sociables. If you have any questions about any of the events mentioned, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram. I really appreciate that you are interested in the same things I am excited about, and that means the world to me. That's why I'm doing this. I'm not making the big bucks on this, people. Not even a little bit. If you got something out of this week's episode, it would help me out if you follow the podcast on Instagram, which is at yyc.sociables, and tell a friend to do the same. I'm really trying to spread the word, so I'm set up for success when I do officially launch to the bigger apps like Spotify and Apple. Also this week I did spend time setting up YYC Sociables on all the different social networks. You can now follow on Twitter, you can follow on Facebook, I'm even on freaking TikTok, which I don't even know what my podcast is doing on TikTok, but hey, I grabbed the username. So give that a follow if you're on TikTok. And I'm on LinkedIn, because I know some of my friends aren't on any platforms, but they're on LinkedIn. So if you want to know when a new episode drops, follow me on LinkedIn, and I will, at the very least, just plop it in there when there's a new episode so you can know that that's happening. So wherever you're hanging out, YYC Sociables is officially there. So go and follow. That would really mean the world to me. Thank you so much. Thanks again for listening to this episode, and I hope to see you out and about this week. Have a good one, you guys.